Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you work with data, you absolutely know the pain of drowning in dozens of complex dashboards that somehow still don't actually tell you what to do. I mean, having a mountain of data is very, very different from having actionable intelligence. So today, we're going to bridge that gap and dive directly into how business analysts can transform massive enterprise data into tangible strategic wins. Okay, so here's our roadmap for today. We're going to start with the universal data problem, what we call the raw data dilemma. Then we'll walk through a comprehensive 7-step process to actually solve it, and finish up by looking at the real-world business impact and the practical implementation challenges you're going to want to watch out for. Section 1, the raw data dilemma. We are kicking things off by addressing a massive frustration you likely face every single day. It's a total paradox, isn't it? IBM once estimated that 90% of all the data in the world was created in the last 2 years alone, yet only a tiny fraction of a percent is ever actually analyzed. You've got these massive enterprise data warehouses tracking years of history, millions of rows of customer logs, sales transactions, operational metrics, the whole shebang. Yet when it comes time for the executive team to make critical business decisions, they're often still relying on, well, intuition and guesswork. We are hoarding raw data at an unprecedented scale, but we're completely starving for actual actionable knowledge. To solve this, we need a complete paradigm shift. We need to introduce KDD, or knowledge discovery in databases. This is literally the ultimate framework for your analytical toolkit. As a business analyst, consider this your blueprint. Now, KDD isn't just some corporate buzzword. It's a rigorous, iterative, multi-stage engineering process. It's a highly systematic way to take that chaotic, messy raw data and deliberately refine it into clear, structured insights that actually drive corporate strategy. Now, I want to clear up a huge misconception in the corporate world right away. People constantly use the terms data mining and KDD interchangeably, but they are absolutely not the same thing. You can't just mine data without doing the heavy lifting first. KDD is the entire end-to-end journey, from raw noise all the way to polished insight. Data mining? Well, that's actually just one specific mathematical phase housed right in the middle of that larger 7-step pipeline. Moving on to Section 2, the 7-step roadmap. Let's dive right into the core of this explainer and break down these chronological steps. This is exactly how you go from raw noise to executive-level strategy. Step 1 is data cleaning, basically sifting out the dirt. Real-world corporate data is almost always noisy, incomplete, or just filled with wildly inconsistent naming conventions. There's actually a running joke in the industry that data scientists spend 80% of their time just cleaning data, and the other 20% complaining about cleaning data. In this initial step, you've got to remove corrupted records, filter out the duplicate data points, and apply statistical techniques to handle missing fields. Because if you skip cleaning, you're setting your organization up for failure right out of the gate. Next up, step 2, we move to data integration. Look, your data rarely lives in just one neat little place. You have to align and combine scattered records. Imagine the absolute headache of trying to mash up a decades-old legacy Oracle database with yesterday's real-time Facebook ad API and then, tossing a random Excel spreadsheet in there for good measure. You have to resolve conflicting IDs and formats to pull everything into a single, unified, cohesive repository. You are essentially establishing a single source of truth. Once everything is integrated, we hit step 3. Data selection. You absolutely don't need the whole warehouse to solve a specific problem. For example, if your goal is to analyze why a specific demographic is canceling their subscriptions, customer churn, you don't need the HR department's payroll data, and you definitely don't need the facilities management logs. In this phase, you laser focus. You identify and retrieve only the relevant attributes you need to solve the exact business challenge at hand. Step 4 is data transformation. Here, we format our carefully selected data so the algorithms can actually process it. This involves crucial feature engineering, aggregation, and mathematical operations like normalization. Now, normalization usually means scaling your numbers to sit tightly between, say, 0 and 1. Why does that matter? Well, because without it, a massive metric like a $1 million salary would mathematically overpower a smaller scale metric like a 5-star customer review when the algorithm runs. We have to put those different variables on an even playing field. And now, step 5, data mining. We've officially reached the central gear of the machine. This is where we pass the baton from the human analyst over to the machine, allowing for discoveries that completely bypass human cognitive bias. We apply specialized computer science algorithms to our transformed data. These algorithms automatically extract hidden patterns, underlying correlations, and subtle anomalies that a human analyst could literally never spot manually, even if they stared at spreadsheets for 100 years. So let's open up that data mining toolkit for a second. Broadly speaking, algorithms fall into two primary paradigms. First, we have predictive algorithms. These use historical data to forecast future outcomes. For example, classification models, like decision trees, can automatically map new loan applicants into approved or rejected categories based on past trends. Regression models, on the other hand, estimate continuous numbers, like predicting your exact future sales revenue for Q4. On the other side of the toolkit, we have descriptive algorithms. These explore data to reveal hidden structures without a predefined target. This includes clustering, like the K-means algorithm, which groups users together for market customer segmentation. It also includes association rules, which uncover concurrent purchasing patterns, often called market basket analysis. This is exactly how a retailer discovers that customers buying laptops frequently buy wireless mice at the exact same time, allowing them to bundle those products together effectively. Moving right along to step 6, we have pattern evaluation. Okay, the algorithms are going to find patterns, absolutely, but not all patterns are useful. For instance, an algorithm might discover with perfect certainty that 100% of customers who bought a car also breathe oxygen. I mean, it's highly accurate, sure, but it is statistically useless for your marketing strategy. We have to evaluate the gems we found using statistical metrics like confidence, accuracy, and support scores. This critical step filters out accidental statistical anomalies or obvious trivia, ensuring we only keep insights that provide genuine business value. Finally, step 7, knowledge presentation. As a business analyst, this is your moment to shine. We delivered the polished insight directly to stakeholders. We translate those complex, super dry mathematical outputs into highly visual, human-readable graphical dashboards, charts, and reports that actually tell a compelling story. This is how you empower executives to make fast, confident, data-driven decisions. Section 3, real-world business benefits. So, the absolute most crucial question here is, how does this 7-step roadmap actually impact your bottom line? Let's take a look. The real-world applications of this pipeline are incredibly powerful. Take the banking sector, for example. By running real-time classification and anomaly detection models on customer spending habits, banks can instantly flag deviations, like a sudden overseas purchase, and block fraudulent transactions before the money is ever lost. Now consider healthcare. By running predictive models over massive electronic health records, analyzing vital signs and historical lab metrics, clinical systems can identify early risk factors for chronic diseases, like type 2 diabetes. This leads directly to personalized, proactive treatments long before a patient's health deteriorates. Across literally every sector, KDD directly drives systemic optimization and serious risk mitigation. And finally, Section 4, implementation challenges. Of course, we do need a bit of a reality check here. Implementing this roadmap in a messy enterprise environment comes with some serious hurdles. Let's break down these roadblocks so you're prepared. First, navigating strict privacy regulations like GDPR when handling sensitive consumer profiles. That is a legal minefield. Second, you're going to face system scalability limits as your datasets rapidly explode from gigabytes to petabytes. Third, there are mathematical hurdles like the curse of dimensionality. This happens when having hundreds of different variables makes your data so sparse that it actually breaks the mathematical accuracy of your algorithms. And finally, as you move into advanced techniques like deep neural networks, you encounter black box models. These models often give highly accurate predictions, but it's incredibly difficult for a human analyst to interpret exactly why the machine reached that specific decision. Try explaining that to a CEO. But honestly, above all those technical challenges, never, ever forget this golden rule of data science. Garbage in, garbage out. Processing uncleaned, noisy data through step 1 will always inevitably lead to fundamentally flawed corporate strategies in step 7. Your models are literally only ever as good as the raw data you feed them. Which brings us to the end of this explainer. And I want to leave you with this provocative thought as you look at your own enterprise systems tomorrow. Think about your current analytical pipelines. Are you rigorously applying the 7 steps of knowledge discovery to drive strategic decisions? Or are you just hoarding raw data in your warehouse, hoping the answers will somehow magically reveal themselves? It's time to put the roadmap to work. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll catch you next time.